Has FAU somersaulted over a lot of other teams as like your most aggravating fan base?
Oh, easily. They just think they are so elite because they made this one run. You won this one fluky ass game where there were 6 or 7 different calls. Everyone were up in arms about, like, what are we talking about? And it's not like a thing where they're like, hey, Memphis, great game. You guys are great competitors. I can't wait to see what the future holds between us. Because if they said that, I would respect them. I don't respect FAU fans. I don't.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Choosing the right sports betting platform can be tricky, as most mobile sports betting apps come with limited betting options and customization, delayed cash out and withdrawal times, and tedious customer support, and no true loyalty program with continuous rewards even after signing up. All of this leads to a frustrating, one-sided experience. So, how do you find the one which suits you best? Introducing Zen Sports. It combines the best of both worlds, a traditional sports book and a cutting-edge peer-to-peer marketplace. Zen Sports allows you to accept bets against the house, or use our peer-to-peer marketplace to create your own one-of-a-kind bet and set your own odds without the need for a bookmaker. At Zen Sports, you get more betting options and a cashback rewards through our unique welcome bonus, continuous loyalty program every month, and referral rewards delivered directly into your account. So what are you waiting for? Download the Zen Sports app today at zensports.com.
Welcome back to Bluff City Bets. My name is Mark. This is the Thursday edition of the show, the Daily Fantasy Football Edition. It's a brand new edition to the show. It's happening every week. This is the second week of the show. It's happening every Thursday. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel at Bluff City Media. Do not miss a show. It's going to be great. We're going to go through a player pool every single week. I'll talk about players and every position that we like for the upcoming, mostly Sunday games, sometimes Thursday and Monday games, but mostly Sunday games. The player pools that we like, and that's what the players that I'll play for every week. And I think these are the guys that will probably have a good chance if you're playing them and get in together. And obviously, always it's the combination of players together that are scoring to get the right matchups to win. But if you play these players, I think you will do well in your fantasy football matchups wherever you play at. So make sure you tune in every Thursday to the show. Before we get to the show, I want to make sure to remind everybody that we are presented by Zen Sports. So make sure you go download Zen Sports. It's an absolute great sports book, and they have been a wonderful partner for us since we have started this show, Bluff City Bets. So make sure you go support what they are doing. Download Zen Sports. Use the code BLUFFC, BLUFFC, when you sign up. What's going to happen when you sign up and use that code? You're going to get 5% cash back on your betting volume for the first 15 days. I know that's crazy. It's not going to be like rewards. It's not going to be some kind of weird situation where you have to log into their stuff and also only play it there. It's just straight up cash back. So if you're playing their betting volume, cash back on the first 15 days, which is unheard of on any sports. I have played on every sports book there is, and that is unheard of, I promise you. Not only that, you're going to get 5% cash back on the first 15 days. Not only that, you're going to get 3%, up to 3% cash back forever. As long as you play, you're going to continue to get that cash back on Zen Sports. And on top of that, you can use your own referral code to be able to have people sign up on your on the platform and use your referral code and earn commission through that as well. So do not take that for granted. Go download Zen Sports right now. Press pause. Download Zen Sports. Use our code BLUFFC, BLUFFC. Let's get to the show. Before we get to the show, let's do a little housekeeping news. Before we get to quarterbacks, let's get to housekeeping. Every Sunday, we are playing a Bluff City Bets league where you can play against myself as well as Daniel Greer, who's the other bettor on this channel. You'll see his show come out on Fridays. He does all of betting lines and all the bets you should play, parlays, any kind of things he sees that he thinks he would be good for the weekend. Do a lot of NFL, but for a variety of sports. So make sure you check out his show on Fridays. But every Sunday, we are playing a daily fantasy league where you can play against myself and Daniel. So make sure you join that. We'll drop the link in our Discord as well as our Twitter page. Speaking of our Discord, if you have not already joined our Discord, do that. It's where we will drop a lot of bets, a lot of plays where you can make you money. We're trying to give you money. It's like it is as easy as you can. We are trying to give you money. So go down to our Twitter page, shoot us a DM, and we will get you hooked up with our Discord. It's absolutely free, and I promise you it is worth it. Let's get into the show. Quarterbacks. First up on the list, Jalen Hurts has been averaging 19 fantasy points per game. Not a great week last week. I get that. I understand. Still, even if you consider that not a great week for Jalen Hurts, 277 yards in the air and a tutty. So, I mean, if you consider that not a great week, fine. I think that by most people's standards, a lot of quarterbacks in this league would love to have that week, and I think we'll call that a win. So averaging 19 fantasy points. So even in that, not a great week for him, 19 fantasy points for Jalen Hurts. $8,800 on FanDuel. Now, just so you know, we play all our prices on FanDuel. That's where we're playing all the daily fantasy. So if you hear me throw out a price, it's going to be on FanDuel. I don't play on DraftKings or anywhere else. So the pricing may be different. These are guys and players that are going to have value at their price point where I'm playing them at. So Jalen Hurts is a guy I think I'm going to have in a large portion of my lineups. Next quarterback on the list, let's go Kirk Cousins. He was on our list last week, and you know why he continues to be on our list? Because he's really one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football right now. He is averaging 23 points a contest every week right now. 9 touchdowns already for Kirk Cousins in 3 weeks. 1, 2, 3. 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Last week, 3 touchdowns, 1 INT. I think he's the second best. I think he's quarterback 2 right now on the league, or in the league right now in terms of fantasy points. I think he's QB2. So he's got a decently tough matchup this week versus the Carolina Panthers. So that's something to note. But I think he's just got so many weapons. And that's, we talked about this last week. He's got so many weapons. He's got Justin Jefferson, he's got KJ Osborne. Those guys are always going to be, they're so good, and it makes his job so easy. So he's going to probably continue to show up on this list. He is right now sitting at 8,800. I know it's a little high. I get that. But I will make sure to try and get him in my lineup, find a way to get him in my lineup. Next up on the list, Justin Fields, guy that has been bad. I don't know how to say it. He's just been bad. Is he a gamble? Absolutely. Is he playing the Broncos? Also, absolutely. And I don't know if you know, the Broncos just got 70 points dropped on him last week. He is 7,200 right now. I'm probably only playing Justin Fields in tournament lineups. I think he's a guy that most people are going to steer away from just because he's been bad. He's been not great. I think this is, if anybody can have a right of the ship kind of moment, it's Justin Fields against the Broncos, because the Broncos are just that bad. So I think that's something to look at. I'm probably not playing him in any of my cash games. He's probably a guy that's only going to exist in tournament lineups just to be a contrarian type of player, and that's what you need in tournament lineups. You got to have players that are going to go against the grain, that not all people are going to pick. You got to have players that are going to be able to get you points when no one else is getting them. Next up on our list, Justin Herbert. Also, one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy football right now. He is QB1 on the season so far. Or excuse me, I think he's QB3 right now on the season. He was QB1 last week in week 3. Just a great matchup against the Raiders. The 26th worst secondary in the league is what the Raiders are right now. So take him all day long. Justin Herbert might be in 80% of my lineups this week. He's $8,600, but at this point, it does not matter. I will take him and put him anywhere. Again, he's playing lights out. Same thing. It's the same story. Kirk Cousins, he's got a lot of weapons over there with Justin Herbert. I know Mike Williams went down. That's a little bit different, but he has been fantastic all season going against one of the worst secondaries. Sign me up. Last quarterback on our list before we get to the first break, Joe Burrow. I know you guys are thinking, Mark, Joe Burrow? That sounds like a bad idea, considering he's been pretty dreadful, has been hurt, and hasn't been great. You're right. And this goes along with a little bit Justin Fields situation. It's a gamble. I know. He's still hurt. So this comes with a grain of salt. So like, when we talk about hurt players, just monitor that injury all the way up until Sunday morning, and then decide for yourself from there. But he's $7,200, right? So he's got a low price point. So I'm starting there. Good value. We all know if Joe Burrow is healthy, we all know who Joe Burrow is. He's an excellent quarterback. He's also going against the worst secondary in the league, the Tennessee Titans. So if people are going to get right, if he is healthy, then this could be his week to have a big week against a bad team. Again, it's like Justin Fields. It's with a grain of salt. So maybe more tournament lineups than cash games. But if he's healthy and he's playing, he's a guy that can get you real points real easy. So I like Joe Burrow this week. I think, again, if he's healthy and if he's out there, I like Joe Burrow and I like his matchup. That's it for quarterbacks. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on this side of this break. We'll talk more running backs and wide receivers.
What's a common criticism that people say about Paul Young or something negative they may say? And what do you have to say in response to that?
They say too young if they're from the older generation. And the response is, well, line us up and ask us any question. I'm not that young. I'm 43. I'm a grown man. It's been working for the last 20 years.
I feel old when we the same age.
Yeah, we old, man.
Right.
We old now. Certainly there are those that love to throw this card saying that I'm a Republican, which they know I'm not. We too focused on stuff that don't matter.
Right.
Because none of that matters. I'm a Democrat, and I lead with that. But at the end of the day, Democrats been in office, Republicans been in office. When I go to the hood, the result is the same. So what we talking about? Like, who's going to get the job done for Memphis? Yeah. Those are the things that I think we need to be talking about. But, it's a distraction that people use because they feel this momentum and energy and they want to figure out how to stop it.
Man, I feel you 100 on this.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the show. We did quarterbacks in the first segment. Second segment, we're always going to do running backs and who we're going to talk about the running backs we like for this upcoming week. Again, I don't want to say it too much, but make sure you play against us every single week on FanDuel, our Bluff City Bets League. You can play against myself. You can play against Daniel Greer. I've won it the past 2 weeks because no one seems to be able to beat me, which is par for the course. But you can win real money. It's a $5 entry. It's super fun, just hanging out, playing with everybody, seeing everybody's lineup. So make sure you look for the link. Again, we've already dropped it in the Discord. We'll drop it again on Sunday morning. All these player pools we're talking about, we'll also drop them on Sunday morning on Twitter because we wait. I wait that long because I just want to make sure injuries are kind of worked through. We kind of know a bit more about who's playing on Sunday morning games. Thursday night, Thursday night, you don't really have much. Those players are already probably playing who they're playing and who are not playing. So be on the lookout for the player pools. We'll drop those on Sunday morning. Again, just wait just for a little bit more time so we can have more clarity on injuries. Let's get to the running backs. Running backs, our first running back of the day, Raheem Mostert. It's as easy as it gets. 4 tutties last week, 70-point performance. Is there anything else I need to say? He has been running back 2 so far on the other side. If you have Raheem Mostert, or if you have literally anybody on the Dolphins offense last week, you were jumping for joy. I have Raheem Mostert in a dynasty league, and it was amazing. So if you were one of the people who played Tua, like we told you to last week, like I said, if you played Tua last week, you were very ecstatic. If you stacked him with him and Tyreek Hill, if you stacked him with him, Raheem Mostert, I promise you probably won a lot of money. And all those picks were right here last week. So stick with us. I promise you will win money. But Raheem Mostert is a really, really good player. going against a tough Bills defense, but I believe in that Miami offense. He's only $7,900. I think that his price is being pushed down because of that Bills defense matchup. So that's something to watch out for, yes. But I think in cash games, I think there's no problem playing Raheem Mostert. If you can get him in your lineup, again, at $7,900, you shouldn't have any problem doing that. Play him. Next guy, Tony Pollard, who was on this list last week, who will probably continue to be on this list every week moving forward until A, he gets hurt, or B, they stop feeding him the football. And they haven't stopped doing either of those. He hasn't got hurt, and haven't stopped feeding the football. He is the league leader in rush attempts. He is the league leader in red zone rushing attempts so far this year. They are literally giving Tony Pollard the ball all the time. So in one of those things changes, he will be on this list. Yes, he's $8,400. Doesn't matter. He's one of those guys. Figure out a way, construct your lineup in a way to make him fit in your cash games, even in your tournament lineups. He is a guy that you probably need to have. I think people might even, I won't say people are going to shy away from him because he's just that good going against the Patriots defense. I mean, they're better on the rush defense than they are on the secondary. So I still think they're going to feed him the ball. There's not been a point in this up to this point. Nothing of that's changed in terms of what they've decided they want to do for the Cowboys. So until someone figures out a way to stop him, or until someone figures out a way to play him a different way, I think we'll continue to see him get fed the ball a lot. And a type of guy who is leading the league in rushing attempts, only by like one, but still, it's a lot so far. And so that's a guy that I think you should have in your lineup. Speaking of a guy who is leading the league in rushing attempts, and our next guy, nope, sorry, had him backwards. Najee Harris is first on our list. We'll talk about CMC here in a minute, which is what I was about to go to. But Najee Harris, not been great this year. But right now he's $6,300. Price tag is really, really good. He had 19 rushing attempts last week, 10 the week before that, and he's going against the worst rushing defense in the league. I get it. He has not been good, but I think the attempts are there. I think that he's trending in a direction that allows him to have the football a lot. Again, 19 rushing attempts last week. And that's where I think that's where we need to see Najee Harris to really be able to get value out of that. But $6,300, you don't really need him to do a lot to get your money back in terms of price per point and that price tag. So I don't think he's got to do a lot. Maybe 60 yards is all you probably need for him to really get your money back in terms of what you're spending at $6,300. So he's a guy I think you should really look at for tournament lineups. He's a guy that I don't think anybody's gonna really play him. He's been so bad. But that matchup against he's playing against the worst rushing defense in the league this week. So make sure you take a look at him. He's going to be, I think he's going to be good. I feel good about Najee Harris this week. Last guy on our running back list, like I alluded to, CMC, the second most rushing attempts in the league this year. Only one behind Tony Pollard so far. I think Tony Pollard has 63 and CMC has 62. Again, we know what CMC can do. We've seen it for years. In Carolina, now in the 49ers, he is extremely good when he has the football. Like, there's just no way around that. He's another guy. He is so expensive. It's $9,700, but I know that's a lot. He won't have to do a lot of things to pay that value back. But I think if anybody can do it right now, he can do it. He is RB2 right now in fantasy football, and he's going against the 29th worst rush defense in the league, 29th worst defense. Second in league in rushing attempts, RB2, 29th worst rushing defense. I think those are recipes to have another huge week for CMC. So take a look at him. Take a look at Raheem Mostert, Tony Pollard. Those are guys I think could be really good this week. Some other guys I looked at but just I don't feel good about right now. I mean, Josh Jacobs, he's not been great, but he's got a good matchup this week. Other guys that are good, Austin Eckler, I just don't think he's going to play. He's just been hurt. And Josh Kelly, I gave Josh Kelly two strikes. I played him 2 weeks in a row. Not great. They really miss Austin Eckler. So if he plays, he's expensive. So he's a guy I think I probably stay away from because he's so expensive. And just coming off an injury, I just don't know what he's going to be. He's one of those guys I want to see it first before I invest the money into Austin Eckler. Josh Jacobs, decently, it's a pretty high, but 8,200 for Josh Jacobs is just too much. I think right now, that's why he didn't make my list either. So, again, like we alluded to last week, the running back spot is just either going to have to pay up or try to find some real value, and the running back spot is difficult. So I think continue to monitor the injuries, because you're going to have more injuries every single week in the running back spot. The backups who are good are going to be great, and so you'll see those. There might be a few more running backs show up in the player pool list on Sunday, but as of right now, these are the only guys that I think are going to be good. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. On the other side, we'll talk about wide receivers.
Choosing the right sports betting platform can be tricky, as most mobile sports betting apps come with limited betting options and customization, delayed cash out and withdrawal times, and tedious customer support, and no true loyalty program with continuous rewards even after signing up. All of this leads to a frustrating, one-sided experience. So, how do you find the one which suits you best? Introducing Zen Sports. It combines the best of both worlds, a traditional sports book and a cutting-edge peer-to-peer marketplace. Zen Sports allows you to accept bets against the house, or use our peer-to-peer marketplace to create your own one-of-a-kind bet and set your own odds without the need for a bookmaker. At Zen Sports, you get more betting options and a cashback rewards through our unique welcome bonus, continuous loyalty program every month, and referral rewards delivered directly into your account. So what are you waiting for? Download the Zen Sports app today at zensports.com.
Welcome back to the show. We're going to talk about wide receivers, a little quick tight end talk, and a little quick defense talk at the end of this show here. We're going to go through these pretty quickly because we're running short on time. We want to try to make this show as not as short as possible, but a good amount of time to be able to listen to it while you're on your way to work and not listen to an hour and a half podcast. I think it's really difficult to do. So we're trying to make this as easy as possible. So let's get right into wide receivers and start talking about the guys that we like this week. So far, Keenan Allen. Talked about him last week. He's a guy that will continue to be on our list every single week, I think, until something changes. And right now, I don't see anything changes. 18 catches, 20 targets last week, 215 yards. Dude is a beast. Second in the league in targets right now. And now that Mike Williams is out for the season, Keenan Allen, he might be the only person catching the ball for the Chargers right now this season. Like, he is so good. $9,500, but doesn't matter. He's a little like Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson is spoiler alert, not on this list this week, but I would say if you put out Justin Jefferson in lineups, you're not going to go wrong. Same thing with Keenan Allen. Yes, he's $9,500. Yes, he's expensive. Doesn't matter. Get him in the lineups. Next on our list is going to be Zay Flowers. Again, reoccurrence of Zay Flowers from last week to this week. I love Zay Flowers. Got him in one of my dynasty leagues. I drafted him this year. Fantastic player. 10 targets in week 3, twice as many as the next receiver. Mark Andrews has 5. Lamar Jackson loves Zay Flowers. He's averaging 8 targets, 62 yards a game. He's been very, very good. You throw in a touchdown, that's a winning formula. Because right now he's only $6,100. Zay Flowers, the guy that Lamar Jackson loves, 10 targets last week, is $6,100. If he just continues to do what he has done in every game so far this year, then he will pay that value back, no problem. You throw in a touchdown, you got a winner. Next up on the list, Davante Adams. Adams and Myers combined for 32 targets, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. Right now, they're at 32. Going against the 32nd ranked defense in the league right now. So Davante Adams, he's awesome. He's wide receiver 3 in fantasy right now, going against a terrible defense and pretty pleasantly priced. $8,100, I think is a really good price for Adams. I think that any higher than that maybe starts to get a little iffy, but $8,100 for him is a really good price for Davante Adams. Next up on our list is going to be Tank Dell. Great player. He has 7 targets, 145 yards, and a touchdown in week 3, averages 12 fantasy points a game. And guess what? right along with Zay Flowers, only $6,200. And I think it's because they don't have a lot of proven track record. That's why they're priced so low. But clearly they are getting the job done. And Dell is one of the guys that I absolutely love. And I think will continue. Again, he might show up. He wasn't on our list last week. He will probably show up on our list next week, but he's a really, really good wide receiver. And for $6,200, you just can't beat that. On the list next, what's the fifth wide receiver? Adam Theilen. Rise of the dead, Adam Theilen. This dude he just won't go away. Has been around the league for so long and has showed that he can continue to catch the ball when he's got a good quarterback and continue to get open. I love Adam Thielen this week. I think Andy Dalton coming in and changing the game was a little bit different for him. I think that he is obviously reliant on Bryce Young and what Bryce Young can do. So that scares me a little bit about Adam Thielen. But I think he's just also really good. 14 targets last week, 11 catches, 145 yards. That's amazing. And the Vikings secondary is just really bad. He's got a really good matchup this week, and he's only $6,800. Again, we've talked about this. $6,800 is not a lot to be able to pull out the points you need to provide value for that price. DK Metcalf is our last guy on this list. He was on our list last week. He will continue to probably be on this list because he's really good. Up against the Giants, their bottom half and secondary defense, $7,600. And there's not much more I need to say. Other notable wide receivers I can think of are Puka Nacua. Yeah, I didn't make the list, but I would say right on the edge. He leads the league in targets. Didn't have a great week last week. The leading the league in targets is because the first 2 weeks he had like 25 or something just insane. And that's why he's still leading the league in targets. He's currently wide receiver 9 right now in fantasy. He's got a good value though. He's going against a bad Colts secondary. So $7,500. It's a good value for him. I think he gets back on track this week. A little bit let's talk about tight ends real quick and defenses. Tight ends: Sam Laporta, Luke Musgrave, TJ Hockenson. First two, good value guys. Sam Laporta still only $5,700. I don't know why. He is tight end 2 in fantasy points. He has had last week. It was 11 targets, 8 catches, 84 yards, and a tutty. Jared Goff simply loves his tight ends. It is that simple, and still only $5,700. I don't know why, but here we are. So play Sam Laporta until you have otherwise a reason not to, and it's going to be, I think, a while before we have a reason not to. Another, I think, good value guys, Luke Musgrave. Lions let 17 targets to the Falcons tight ends last week, so they are allowing a league-high 90 yards per game for tight ends. So if you take a look at that, Luke Musgrave is probably going to have a pretty decent game. And price at $5,100, that's a guy I can get in a lot of my lineups. Those are guys that was a Thursday night game, so make sure you take a look at that and get those guys in before you play certain matchups and certain games. So make sure they're in the player pool that you want. Last guy is TJ Hockenson. Not much to say about them. Leads all tight ends in all targets. Has 23 catches on the year. Panthers are 18th against the tight end. $7,200. Yes, it's expensive. It doesn't really matter. TJ Hockenson is probably the best tight end right now in fantasy, besides George Kittle. But one of those guys that will have a good matchup probably every week, and so make sure you get them in your lineup. Defense: Cowboys, Steelers, Eagles. Cowboys are $4,800. All these defenses are kind of expensive, but the Cowboys will be on this list probably every week for the entire season. Unless all their linebackers get hurt, probably on this list every week. They have 17 fantasy points per game. That's crazy. 17 fantasy points per game. They've only allowed 38 points total. In all 3 games combined, 38 points total is what they've allowed to their opponents, which is crazy considering Miami scored 70 last week in 1 game. So the Cowboys defense is amazing. The Steelers, third best defense in the league. They've had 4 interceptions already, 4 fumbles recovered, and 2 defensive touchdowns. There might be some defenses in the league that might not have a defensive touchdown all year long. They've had 2 in 3 games. They're $4,600. They're very good. Last one is the Eagles, 2 interceptions, 5 forced fumbles. They are defense 4 in the league right now in fantasy points, so the 4th best defense, and they are $5,000. So if you think about it like that, they have all good matchups this week. They have all good matchups against not great offenses. So any of those defenses, I think you will be very well to get on your matchup. Before I get out of here, I want to make sure to remind you that we are presented by Zen Sports. Go and download Zen Sports. Use our code BLUFFC, BLUFFC, and download Zen Sports. Sign up today and get 5% cash back on all your betting for the first 15 days. It's not like a weird reward system. It's cash back. You go take the cash, put it right back in your pocket. So these guys are doing some really, really amazing thing in the sportsbook world, and they're really, really fun to work with. The app is super user-friendly, super fun, and so go download Zen Sports, use BluffC, BLUFFC, and guess what? After that 5% cash back in 15 days, you'll have the chance to get up to 3% cash back forever. So you continually earn cash back. The more you bet, the more you earn. And also on top of that, you will still be able to have your own referral code, just like we have. You'll be able to give your friends a referral code, and you'll be able to get them to sign up for you, earn commission that way. So like it's like a win-win-win. You get to win money from the bets that we give you, because our bets are winners all the time. You get to sign up for Zen Sports and earn 5% cash back on your first 15 days, 3% cash back forever, get a referral code. I mean, there's not much more to it than that, and it is an amazing service. They've been amazing partners so far for Bluff City Bets. So sign up for Zen Sports. BLUFFC is our code to use. That's it for our week this week. Make sure you tune in on next Thursday for our Bluff City Bets Thursday edition for daily fantasy football. Sunday mornings where our player polls will come out. Don't forget to play against us week as well on Sunday. Beat the Betters. We'll drop that link in our Discord. Don't have access to our Discord, Twitter, or DM us on Twitter. We'll get you access. That's it.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.
It's hard to poke a hole in this roster. I mean, it's weird saying that in August, but just looking at the spread of it, the way it's worked out and come together, and what the staff has done, once again, flowers are deserved.
Isn't it like if you're poking a hole, it's all kind of more abstract thoughts.
Absolutely.
Like how are they going to gel? If you're just talking roles, they have every role filled.
Yep, we won't know that for months.
Yeah.
So instead of harping on that, like, you know, some people are going to get fired up about that now. Like, just looking at what's built and where this could potentially go is pretty cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
A show over in New Zealand, radio host had Pete Pranica, of all people, on his show, and the guy was saying that a friend of his who's close to Steven Adams said that the Grizzlies kind of mishandled something with his surgery, that he needed surgery the whole time. They said that he didn't. They prolonged it, and then he actually got surgery, and now he's rehabbing from that.
Yeah, they use the word misdiagnosed.
Yeah, that's a strong word. The Grizzlies don't give clear information about stuff, and it leaves room for interpretation.
Right.
And my interpretation is that this story sounds real. Now, I'm not saying this story is true, but it's true-ish. That sounds more realistic than anything the Grizzlies were saying.
When you leave things up for speculation,
hey, that's what happens. Guys like me just put
guys
two
like
and
that
two
New
together.
Zealand radio guy.
New Zealand radio dude. They come out and say, hey,
and I know
my partner said Steven Adams was way more messed up than y'all thought he was.
And not only that,
yeah,
y'all misdiagnosed that man.
Misdiagnosed. Strong words, man. Woo. Strong words.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.